Alright, what is up, you guys? I am here with sort of a polarizing video that I've kind of analyzed this whole situation myself. I've, taken mental notes on comments I've read or, seeing other people's opinions, and I really have broken this down, this whole Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement debate. To me, right now, there are two sides. Two types of people, and I will get into my own opinion then. You have the people that think that this is just destroying his retirement. WrestleMania 26 means nothing now. And then you have the people that want to see Shawn Michaels come back. You have the people that say, oh, wrestling retirements are bullshit anyway, it was only a matter of time. And I can agree to that to some extent. A year ago, if you would have told me Shawn Michaels would be back wrestling in November, I would have said, probably not, but you never know. This has been talked about since 2010, whether or not Shawn Michaels would ever come back to wrestling. I personally, if I had to bet on it, I would have said no, but I'm not 100% about that. I always said maybe if the time and the money was right, he would come back. Well, now that time is here. And it's really polarizing. It's really dividing wrestling fans. I've seen really two types of people, like I said. And, the one group are the people who want to see Shawn Michaels come back. And they want to see the magic that they either grew up with or they were too young to see. Because I've noticed a lot of the younger fans are the ones that want him to come back. Either because maybe deep down they never got to see him wrestle, live. They never got to witness that magic that Shawn Michaels was. Because, yeah, I'm not a big fan of, Michael Shawn Hickenbottom. But, yes, he is one of the all-time greatest wrestlers. You can't deny that. He's up there with Stone Cold, Andre the Giant, he's right beside The Undertaker. And maybe those people just want to see him live. Maybe they never got that childhood, defining match with Shawn Michaels. And then I feel like there's the other group of us, and I say us because I'm in this group myself, who watched WrestleMania 26 live, who grew up with Shawn Michaels, and were there for his second run, or even his first run. Because let's be honest, he had a Hall of Fame career run in '98 already. He was already a lock for that. But then 2002 he came back and put an exclamation point at the end of the word career. And, I witnessed, not live, but, I watched the show live, WrestleMania 26, with him and The Undertaker, and you had that retirement match. One of the most important moments in the history of wrestling, in my opinion. And does this coming out of retirement ruin that moment? For me, a little bit, yeah. Because I watched it live. I had that emotion. To me, there is no topping that moment. There's nothing he could do right now to top that. So, logically, yeah. It doesn't ruin the moment completely. That moment will always be there. But does it make it a little less meaningful? Maybe. In my opinion, yeah, a little bit. Because you had this great retirement match, and it's better than anything that him and Undertaker could put on right now. I wholeheartedly believe that. They cannot top those two WrestleMania matches. They cannot top Hell in a Cell in 1997. They cannot top the End of an Era match. I think the End of an Era match, as emotional as that match was, and it was a great finale, it was psychology that I really don't think you could replicate. And I don't know if they're trying to replicate that, or if they're trying to make new psychology here. But this Monday night we saw the official return and the official announcement. They have the new shirts and everything, the new merchandise. DX is back to face the Brothers of Destruction. Shawn Michaels is rumored for a match with The Undertaker eventually. Today, the news broke that it's rumored for a WrestleMania 35 match with a few different opponents being talked about. And how far are they really going to take this? That's my question. This isn't obviously a one-time match. It's obvious that he is in their plans for the future. I don't want to see another Shawn Michaels run. I just don't. To me, it's not going to be the same as his 1990s, late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s to 98 run, his first run, and then his 2002 to 2010 run. To me, it's just not going to be the same. Now, we haven't seen him wrestle yet, so I can't say, is there ring rust? I can't say that. That'd be ignorant for me to say, oh, he has ring rust. Obviously, we don't know that. So we can't 100% judge his abilities right now, because we haven't seen it. I'm sure he'll still be better than half of the people on the roster. I'm not discrediting that, trust me. But I just don't want people to go back and say this ruined his legacy. Because I can already see that starting to open up a little bit. Where people are saying, no, now his whole career's ruined. No, his whole career's not fucking ruined. But his retirement, it's just hard because that's one of my favorite wrestling moments. So it kind of leaves a stale taste in your mouth. I guess if that makes sense. Now, you have the other people, like I said earlier, who want to see him return. Whether that's because of nostalgia or because they never got to experience it. I think it's a little bit of both. I've seen older fans wanting him to return. And yeah, I was excited at the prospect of him returning, but, at the same time, I wasn't excited as the other people were. People are flipping out right now because of this. People are losing their shit because they can't wait to see Shawn Michaels return. And, like I said, a lot of that, I think, is younger viewers. But you do have the nostalgia. And, let's be honest. I'm going to be blunt here. WWE is not as good as it used to be. Maybe a lot of wrestling fans are clinging on to nostalgia. There's a lot of people who hate Roman Reigns as Universal Champion. And they'd rather see their hometown hero, their childhood nostalgia, their superhero when they were growing up, Shawn Michaels, come over and save the day and give people what they're used to. That's what nostalgia is. Giving people what they're used to and what they're comfortable with, and something that brings back memories from either simpler times or just their childhood. Yeah, it's nostalgic for me to see Shawn Michaels in the ring again. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah, it gives you a good feeling. It gives you that old comfort. Same with Undertaker. Especially for Undertaker for me. That's nostalgic for me. But, you have these people who are arguing retirements mean nothing. Let's look at this. WrestleMania 7 retirement match, that meant pretty much nothing. I mean, you had Macho Man really kind of transitioning into the more commentary role, but then he went to WCW and he was in TNA, and then the Ultimate Warrior didn't really slow down that much. He came back in '96 after a somewhat letdown of a run in 1992 after WrestleMania 8, and there were big plans for him to come back in, I think, 1998. There were plans. Vince wanted him back, but they fell through. And, he even had one of his, if not his final match with Orlando Jordan in 2008. So, obviously, that retirement match meant nothing. And then you have Ric Flair, WrestleMania 24, which was another emotional retirement for a lot of people. And he only went on to face, I think, Mick Foley in TNA. So, that retirement obviously didn't hold through. And then you have, in my opinion, the most famous retirement matches, Terry Funk. I cannot tell you how many times he is retired. And I don't even know if he's retired now. Is he still going? I don't know. But that's something, honestly, I don't fault any of these guys for coming out of retirement, because when you live your life doing one thing, whether that's wrestling or, you know, any kind of career, you're gonna have that itch when you retire. I understand that. You know, if I retired from YouTube right now, said I was never making a video again, chances are I would come back and do it. Let's be honest. So, I can't fault these guys for having that itch. You know, you see in many interviews how they just cannot stop wanting to get back in the ring. And I read an article today about Sting. He wants to come back. He wants to have, you know, more programs with, whether it be The Undertaker or, you know, even outside of WWE. There's going to be those urges. And when the money's right, that's going to make those urges skyrocket. Shawn Michaels is being offered $2 million on its own to wrestle one match in Saudi Arabia. I bet a lot of people, 90% of the people listening to this or watching this, would not deny $2 million for a lot of things. So, you know, these people arguing over here, saying retirements mean nothing. I've heard the argument that wrestling's fake. It's a fake retirement. I don't agree with that at all whatsoever. That's bullshit to me. But if you think that, then whatever. There's no changing your mind. So they're like, oh, he didn't sign a contract to stay retired, so it's not wrong for him to come back. Yeah, it's not about that, though. Like, it's not, that's not the point here. So, you know, you have those people who can't wait for him to come back. And good for you. If this is what you want, then you got what you want. People have been begging for 8 years now for him to come back. And if that's what you want, then cool. If that's what's going to make you watch the Crown Jewel event, cool. If that's going to sell you a ticket to WrestleMania, by all means, go for it. I will be at WrestleMania 35. So, yeah, it would be cool to see a Shawn Michaels match live. It would. Of course it would be, no matter what. But, at the same time, I'm leaning more towards I'd rather just his career end the way it did. But, I guess the point of all this, which kind of side do you take? Or there's always the side that you just don't give a shit. You don't care. And that's equally as fine. So, you know, I gave my opinion. I don't like this whole storyline. I don't like that he's coming back. But it's not going to be one of those things where I'm going to be all angry about. I'm going to just take it as an opportunity to watch one of the best of all time. You know, try to recapture that magic that made him one of the best of all time. So, yeah, I'm not going to be in the comment sections of different videos, you know, bitching, complaining. Yeah, I disagree with it. Yeah, I'm going to make that known, but I'm not going to fault the people that want him to come back. Because obviously there's reasons why you could want him to come back, or you don't want him to come back. There's all these different arguments we could make here. So, basically, which one do you agree with? Which, down below, let me know. Now that it's official, give me your opinions. Because this is definitely very polarizing. But I hope you guys enjoy, and, you know, get a good debate going down below. For now, this has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.